Hi, this is Paul from Screenwriting Software Expert. Today we're going to tackle how to master screenwriting format. It's going to be easier than you think. And here's the answer: simply get some screenwriting software. You want to do this because it should have all the margins you need set as well as the type of font you need. Pretty easy solution, right? So let's do a quick tour of the basics of screenwriting using one of the OGs in the space, which is Final Draft. Now, the first thing we have to do is name the space we're in for our first scene. Now, are we inside or outside? Are we in a plane, a house, etc.? And finally, we have to name a time: a dawn, morning, evening, etc. So let's see how easy Final Draft works. We simply type I or E, and we have the ability to choose either internal or external. Then we just type the place or space, and then dash type of day. You will notice that when I type D, the Final Draft automatically will finish with day. But for me, it was dark, so I just type what I wanted. Next, we need to put the detail what action is going to be on the next step. So we simply select action. And as we begin to think about what we're seeing in the scene, I would remind you that you shouldn't be putting the camera angles or anything like that in there. This is and that's for a shooting script, which is a little different animal than the one we're working on right now. And you don't want to be using those type of things for putting into screenwriting contests, because I've had many friends who've created a shooting script, but are flatly rejected by screenwriting contest because they wrote a shooting script. Now, we're going to say we're in the old middle country estate is quiet. The cold winds blow orange and red leaves across the yard. In one of the business bushes sits a young man dressed in fatigues. Presto, snake is wired and ready to go. His slender frame is poised to strike like a reptile he's named for. Now, most of the time, you don't want the action text to be very long. Typically, you don't want more than 5 sentences. Next, let's add some dialogue. So easy enough. We hit the return key and then select character. Let's type in Presto's name and click return, and you're right into typing dialogue. And here is what our hero is going to say. Everything is quiet on the north side of the house. Now, typically, this is how you're going to be doing 95% of your screenplay. You're going to have scene setting, your action, character, and their dialogue. Believe it or not, most of your screenwriting software out there is going to be able to handle each of these things just fine. Now, each one will have its own idiosyncrasies, such as if there are any shortcuts or certain mouse clicks that you need to do, the ways to put in characters or dialogues, or if there's an auto-correct feature, or if there's an auto-fill-in feature, which I really like. I like the auto-fill-in, will automatically fill in names for you. Now, the next 2 things are more rare functions and sometimes can be harder to work. And the first one, let's start with parentheticals. And this is helpful direction for the actors when the script isn't specific, such as in your screenplay that I want everybody to know that he's talking with into a walkie. To do this, in Final Draft, we simply have to hit the return key after a character, select the parenthetical function, and voila, there it is. Now, note Squibbler, how easy that was. I know I give them a hard time, but this really drove me nuts when I was trying to learn their program. So finally, the last element that surprisingly a lot of screenwriters softwares don't do is called dual dialogue. It happens when 2 actors are trying to talk to each other at the same time, or talk over each other as well. So here's what you do in Final Draft. First, we need to write out our dialogue. I'm going to just do a couple of lines. Next, you highlight your text you want in dual dialogue, and then you select dual dialogue, and wow, it just works. Again, it's a function that is normally not available in many different types of software programs. So if your scripts have a lot of these, you're probably going to want to have something like Final Draft or Fade In or Kitsonaris. Unfortunately, one of the better free softwares out there does not have that. And I don't believe that Studio Binder does either. Not to say you can't have the dialogue and you're just not going to have it as dual dialogue. So there you go. Just follow these easy steps and the software program does all the proper formatting. It uses the right font, again, except for Scribbler, who decided that the typical font that you're supposed to use, which is Courier, it wasn't going to use for whatever reason, and allows you to have a nicely formatted screenplay that you can hand in to screenwriting contests, your agent, producers, your parents, your friends, as well as your family. So let me know if you have a specific question about formatting in the comment section below, especially in regards to a particular type of program. So hi, if you're new to the channel for the first time, my name is Paul from Screenwriting Software Expert. I make videos about screenwriting software, and I also do my best to answer questions about this software to help you write well. If this is the type of content that you would find helpful, feel free to hit the subscribe button below. If you also could, leave me a comment as well as a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. If you have any questions about software, again, leave them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer them for you. And if there's a software you'd like me to look at, please leave that below too. Well, until the next video, write well and live well.